What if war isn't just politics? What if it's deeper than land, religion, or ideology? What if humanity is addicted to war, not as a last resort, but as a feature of the system? The recent escalations between Iran and Israel have reignited fears of global conflict. But underneath the headlines lies a deeper question. Why does peace never last? To answer that, we have to leave the battlefield and dive into philosophy, psychology, and power. Because this isn't just a story about geopolitics, it's a story about human nature. In 1651, Thomas Hobbes wrote Leviathan, arguing that humans are driven by fear and the instinct to survive. He believed that in our natural state, without governments or rules, life would be solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. For Hobbes, peace is not natural. It's imposed. War, on the other hand, is the default. In Hobbes's world, everyone is a threat to everyone else, and the only way to escape this chaos is by submitting to a powerful sovereign, a Leviathan, who keeps the peace through fear. Sound familiar? Israel and Iran are two nations locked in a Hobbesian spiral. Each sees the other as a threat to its existence. Each is driven by fear of annihilation, of betrayal, of losing control. So even when there's no active fighting, there's never true peace, just a pause between conflicts. Because in a world ruled by fear, peace is only possible when one side dominates. But domination breeds resistance, and the cycle continues. Hobbes explained war through fear. But Sigmund Freud had a darker theory. He believed we are not only driven by the instinct to survive, but also by a hidden, subconscious desire for destruction. He called it the death drive, or Thanatos. According to Freud, civilization is always battling two forces: eros, the drive to love, build, and connect; Thanatos, the drive to destroy, dominate, and return to chaos. War, then, isn't a glitch in human society. It's an outlet, a pressure valve. When tensions build up, when grievances go unhealed, when fear festers, when people feel powerless, Thanatos finds a way to erupt. Sometimes in the form of revolution, sometimes in the form of a missile. Look at how nations respond to crisis: recession, distract with war, domestic dissent, unify with war. Freud would say, war is how we hide from our internal chaos. And the more we repress, the more violently it explodes. Here's a hard truth: war is profitable. Conflict fuels entire economies. Defense contractors, weapons manufacturers, cyber surveillance companies, private militaries, they all thrive in times of instability. Governments know this. Every bomb dropped means revenue. Every military buildup means jobs. Every conflict justifies new budgets, new surveillance laws, and new power grabs. Meanwhile, peace, it doesn't sell. The military-industrial complex doesn't benefit from de-escalation. So even if the public wants peace, the machine behind the scenes is incentivized to sustain tension, not solve it. This isn't conspiracy, it's business. And when the logic of capitalism meets the machinery of war, peace becomes bad for business. We keep saying, never again. But someone is always cashing in on the next time. Now let's take this deeper. Friedrich Nietzsche believed humans need an enemy, not just to fight against, but to define themselves. Without opposition, identity collapses. Nations need villains. Ideologies need rivals. Religions need infidels. Israel defines itself partly by its survival against hostility. Iran, by its resistance to Western and Zionist influence. Remove the enemy, and the unifying myth weakens. Nietzsche saw this as a dangerous paradox. To become strong, we create opposition. But that same opposition traps us in perpetual conflict. It's the myth of eternal war. To be the hero, there must always be a villain. So what happens when war becomes not just a necessity, but a pillar of identity? You get wars that never end. It's easy to look at Israel and Iran and see ancient hatred. But maybe the deeper war is within us. The part of us that fears vulnerability, so we lash out first. The part that needs control, so we destroy anything uncertain. the part that defines ourselves through others' inferiority. Peace isn't just the absence of war, it's the presence of empathy, introspection, and restraint. And those are qualities we suppress every time we choose pride over dialogue, dominance over understanding, revenge over healing. If we are addicted to war, it's because it makes us feel powerful, even when that power is borrowed, even when it leaves everything in ashes. Hobbes feared we were beasts in need of control. Freud warned of our unconscious desire for destruction. Nietzsche challenged us to confront our dependence on enemies. And the world keeps proving them right. But maybe the way out starts by seeing clearly. War is not always a necessity. Sometimes it's a ritual of fear, of identity, of profit. If we can name those forces, maybe we can resist them. Maybe peace isn't a myth. Maybe it's just a choice we haven't been brave enough to make. If this made you think, drop a comment below. What do you believe is the real root of eternal war? And don't forget to subscribe to MindWorks